Hi everybody, it's Jane for Buttonart Central, and we're on to the July challenge. I can't believe how fast it's gone. So we're going to start with a piece of wood. I recommend something harder for this because this is quite a heavy laden project. So rather than doing something like canvas, I chose this time to do wood. So what we want to do is, this is just like an old bit of wood that I have got of children's things, and so we're going to cover it. And what happened here, found some lovely paper to cover it, put far too much glue on, as you can see, and then following day, as you can see, I also did the other side, and the reason why I'm not doing it on this side is because I managed to just like cut the paper, so it doesn't look great. So we have cut the chopsticks, or if you have anything like that in regards to toothpicks, what we do is we put a button down, just one. It can be any size. Depending upon the size of this will depend on how big your flower gets. And what we're going to be doing is a 3D flower. So as you can see, I've put the one button down. I'm using the chopsticks to line up the other one standing up, because that's going to be our base. And without this base, you won't be able to do the rest of the project. So you want to basically get it in the middle, because we're going to build out from here. As you can see, you're probably going to need your toothpicks to line everything up and keep it there. So we've got the 4 up there, and then I put them all together like this to keep them straight while they are drying. The problem being is I kind of didn't realize how much glue I'd put on, and so when you see it finally glued, everything actually got glued to the paper, so it actually rips the paper a little bit, but that doesn't matter because the paper is going to be covered up. It's just to have something nice underneath. So there you go, let that dry. Then you take it off. As you can see, I ripped the paper. Don't worry about it, it's fine, because we're going to cover it all in glue. So we get started by adding some more glue. Now keep in mind, if you're going to use hot glue, this goes a lot faster. This took me 3 days to make, partially because of the filming, but also because of the time it takes for this stuff to dry. And so I was doing one part at a time, waiting for it to dry overnight and coming back the next day and recording more. So it just starts like this, very simple. You put the 4 up, they become your base. Then you start putting other ones to lean up against vertically on your base. And then we're going to start going around and around and around. And over time, you start to see the vision of what I am doing here. The other thing is that I wanted to do something like this because I thought it would be very interesting if we started seeing more 3D button art in Buttonart Central. So I'm showing you one way to make a button art 3D flower. You could make snakes, you could make spiders, you could make whatever you like out of this 3D kind of process. So here we are, we've got those ones glued, and then we're back to it again, and we start very soon. Here we go. I start speeding it up because this takes ages. I want you to be ready for a long project if you're going to do this, just because of the gluing, just because of how fiddly it can get. But as you go round and around and you're turning your button art, it slowly becomes something. It doesn't look like very much at the moment. It's just kind of a blob of buttons. But I promise you, it actually turns out quite spectacular in the end. This is something that I am the most proud of that I've made. So I hope that you enjoy this video and that you actually take the time to do this yourself, because it really is worth it once you see the end result. So round and round we go. Where we will stop? Well, I know, because you can't fill the whole thing up, or if you wanted to, you could. But basically I'm making a circle of vertical buttons at the moment, and we keep on going. As you can see, it really is. Oh, hang on a sec. This was really interesting. I found this 6 hole button in amongst all these buttons. And then I actually find another one. I don't know why it was so exciting to me, but I just thought it was really cool. So I thought I'd point it out. You can see up in the right-hand corner the other kind of light pink 6 hole button. Generally, when I see something like this, I think it's AI, but nope, that's a real button. So continuing to go around. I actually bought these buttons from eBay. I wanted pink buttons for this project. I wouldn't normally buy new buttons, and at the time I didn't actually realize they were new buttons. I thought they were secondhand, but no, they were new. So bringing more plastic into the world kind of sucks, but this project really is pretty. So I guess it was worth it, but I would highly recommend that you use your own buttons. I will say this as a big tip. You don't want to start going up in levels of buttons. You want them all to be like about the same size. They can be a bit smaller to start off with, but I did do a previous version of this to just try it. And when I got to the bigger buttons, it looked like crap. So I overcame that with what I do at the end. So we're continuing to go round. It really is fun doing this, even if it doesn't look all that fun because it's taking so long. But honestly, if you were doing it with a hot glue gun, I think you could probably get this done in a day. But when you're filming and you're using glue, because you want to use the cheapest alternatives so that everybody can do this, the glue does take a while, because basically you're using a wet plastic to put it all together. So on and on we go. There we go. Next day, tried again. I decided on different shades of pink because these were the buttons that arrived, because they were 100 miscellaneous pink buttons. So I kind of got lucky with what they were, because it could have been a lot harder to get all of the same size pink buttons otherwise. But if you've got a large collection of just random buttons, you might be able to find them yourself. Still leaving the 6 hole one there. I must have put the other one in there and I didn't notice. Oh well. Then we started with white. I wanted to do the white to make it a bit of a break in the middle of the flower. Keep going round, and then you will see what happened next. After I did the first round of white, I had this idea that I would do contrasts of black and white. And then I tried it and it looked terrible. And so I just undid it. Never be afraid to undo something that you think is a good idea. Because look at me looking at that. Nah, let's do white again. So round we go again with white. And you can start to see the real 3D nature of this artwork. I'm really proud of this. I really am. I can't stress that enough, and I'm sure you would be too if you made something like this. So there we go, the final pink buttons at the end. And this is like cute just as it is. Like this is like some sort of pink dessert. Some cute pink dessert that you'd be quite happy to have on your plate. However, that's not where we end. There goes the bus outside, if you can hear it. So, very pretty. And then it was, okay, now it's time to make a flower. Now, as you can see, hard as a rock. I found these little petals. Look at that handwork. I found these little petals at St. Vincent de Paul for $3 Australian. That's like $2 US. I'm always on the lookout for items in the op shop charity store that are craft related that I can kind of rescue and then use in different artworks. Why buy when you don't need to? So here we go. I knew these petals one day would come in handy. I bought them about 2 years ago. I had no idea what for. And then when I started planning this, I remembered them and then I found them and it was like, yay. So it doesn't look fantastic yet. It still has some work to do, but that's all these petals going on. Now, if you don't have something like that, you can make them out of paper. You can keep making the circle bigger and take it all the way into being a square. It's really up to you. This is just the process of doing standing up vertical buttons and what you can do with them when you are creating a button art. And so that's the first round. And then I started again and started adding more petals and more petals until it became the beautiful flower that it is. I highly recommend that if you haven't done button art before and you've got, 100 buttons all around the same size, doesn't matter what color they are, you can make this. And I'm just watching this video at the moment, just so proud of myself with what I did here. I took on this journey of doing challenges because I wanted to be good at button art. And I think that this is the best that I've done so far. So, if you haven't already joined us at Button Art Central, please do. On Facebook, all the deets are down below. And I hope that you have as much fun making the July Button Art Central Challenge as I did. Look at this beautiful thing. And thank you to Jill Wetzel for giving me the idea to make a flower for July. She really loves hibiscus, hibiscus flowers, just like I do. So this is kind of my version of a hibiscus flower. It's not perfect, it's not exactly right, but it's an interpretation. And so make your interpretation of your favourite flower in your favourite colours. Because this was so much fun, even though it took so long to film. I just love it. And then I added some more flowers at the end after filming, just to fill in some of those last white spots that I wasn't very, happy with. And there we go. This is the July Button Art Central. Flower. Gorgeous. Cheers, buttoneers. See you next month.